Now, I am sure you're as sick as I am of all the trawling through the ins and outs of this election debacle. Look, Labor won and the Liberals got smashed, move on. But today there was more upheaval, and in my last show for this week, I want to sum up, I want to show you the big picture and the trouble that looks like coming for the coalition. Not just for the Liberals, but the Nationals. Now, of course, first I'll give you the quick headlines in 30 seconds. It's another day of chaos for the coalition, and just desserts, by the way, for people who betrayed Jewish Australians. Adam Bandt, the Greens leader, finally admits he was beaten. He gave a vicious goodbye today, which I'll show later. Jacinta Nampijinpa Price is quitting the Nationals to become a Liberal, probably for a leadership position, but with whom? And David Littleproud, the Nationals leader, faces a revolt from climate realists on his party's right. And meanwhile, Mark Dreyfus, the Albanese government's Attorney General, looks like getting dumped. He sold his soul. A Jewish MP who preferenced the Greens, the party for Jew haters, yet still looks like getting the boot. Fancy betraying your principles and still losing. That way you end up with nothing at all, do you? No pride and no gain. Right, that's all done. Now, the big picture. The big picture problem for the Liberals particularly, leadership. Now, normally you would have expected the Liberals to choose as their new leader Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor. He's very smart, he's conservative, extremely hard-working, and he knows economics inside out in a party that has a lot of people that don't. If you saw his debate with Labor Treasurer Jim Chalmers on Sky News, you would have seen how he ran rings around Cocky Jim. And now with Jacinta Price joining the Liberals, Taylor could make her and Tim Wilson of the Liberal left, gay, a part of a leadership group for a more diverse look. Here's Price half an hour ago.
I've always felt like the Liberal Party room is my natural home, given, the Liberal Party is the freedom party, the party of responsibility. Given the current circumstances, I think now more than ever, we need strong people within the Liberal Party. We need to be able to rebuild. We need to ensure that we don't lose support.
So that's a pretty good case for Angus Taylor. But it seems the leadership may instead go to Sussan Ley. She's the Liberals' deputy leader. She is backed by the Liberal left, as well as a lot of climate activists with deep pockets. And what if Jacinta Price and Wilson joined her instead? Now that would be even more clearly a sign of the Liberals having a fresh face and a new approach, being more diverse, more open. The media would love that story. And influential Liberals and those green Liberal power brokers like Michael Photius would love it. Except one crucial detail being overlooked by a lot of people. Has Sussan Ley actually shown any great grasp of economics, of foreign policy, of policy development of any sort? In a debate with Anthony Albanese, how would she actually go when the rubber really did hit the road? In fact, she was at one time forced to quit cabinet over an expenses scandal, and 3 years ago embarrassed herself by opposing Labor's Stage 3 tax cuts before she supported them.
Will you roll back whatever changes are made?
Well, this is our position.
I want to be very clear about this. I did not say we would roll back Labor's new proposal.
So what's happened? Why is Ley seen by many as the Liberals' answer, assuming no compromise candidate comes through the middle? Well, first, too many Liberals, especially of the left, are peddling a self-serving lie, backed by Labor and many in the media, and the Greens too, that the Liberals lost the election because they moved too far to the right. Now that is false, as I've shown here on this show and in my column in News Corp newspapers today. There was nothing right-wing at all about the coalition's campaign. I mean, it was actually promising higher taxes, promising more debt. It buried their defence policy and idiotically promised to ban working from home for public servants and then changed its mind. None of that is right-wing. It was incompetence and not ideology that killed the coalition. But what's really hurting Taylor personally is not just that he is conservative with this narrative going on, oh, we've got to move to the left, more that he is the fall guy from some of those terrible mistakes in the Coalition's campaign, like promising higher taxes than even Labor did, like no tax reform, a mess of policies really that were just dribbled out without a coherent plot. Like it was, oh, well, if you didn't like these policies, I've got another one here. Would you like this one? Like I've said before, those failures are going to make Angus Taylor a punching bag for Labor for the next 3 years. Now, he does have excuses. Taylor actually wanted to promise real tax reform, like stopping the government from stealing more and more taxes from you through bracket creep, stopping that theft by indexing the tax rates. That would have been a great policy for the election, but Opposition Leader Peter Dutton blocked it. And Dutton also rejected other Taylor ideas. Personally, I think Taylor should have said so publicly. He should be going out there and saying what his agenda really is, changing the narrative. He won't, so the blame is going to stick. And some Liberals will reckon, well, he's already now unelectable. The Liberal Treasury spokesman who wanted more taxes. And they might even be right. But is Sussan Ley really up to the job? Now, as Deputy Leader, where was she in this campaign debacle? Why didn't she stop the working from home ban? Wasn't she in charge of women's issues? The problem gets even worse. Thing is for the Liberals, if this is why Taylor can't be leader, all those terrible economic policies, if this is why Taylor can't be leader, it's also why Taylor can't be the shadow treasurer. And if he's given any other job, unless it's something that he might really want, I don't know, foreign affairs, chances are that he will walk. Down tools at least. One of the few people that economic smarts gone in a party already so short of talent. Why would he stay? Taylor made an absolute mozza as a management consultant and an agribusiness entrepreneur. I'm sure he didn't give up all that and go into politics to serve under Sussan Ley as a housing spokesman or Minister for Veterans Affairs or Health or something. And one last thing, just to underline how much trouble the Coalition is in, especially if it just does the lazy thing and becomes a cheap knockoff version of Labor, Me Too on climate. Nationals leader David Littleproud, more trouble. On two fronts, actually, including a revolt. If he does go along with the Liberals saying they move to the left and got to stop fighting the climate wars, there is no way some of his party, Barnaby Joyce, Matt Canavan and former leader Mark McCormick, will put up with that. They most certainly won't now. And they are going to fight especially any move to back Labor's green energy revolution. When that revolution is already falling to pieces, why would you stop now attacking something you're already failing and 3 years from now it will be a disaster? And Littleproud's other trouble with the Nats? Price walking out. That means the Nationals have just 4 senators left in the Senate, obviously, when they need 5 there to get the money and the travel allowances and the office that you would get for a leader and a whip. If you've got 5, they've got 4 now. Those resources are now lost to the party. No wonder the Nationals' Bridget McArthur was furious today.
Incredibly disappointed. Loyalty matters in the game of politics, and so it is incredibly disappointing. I share David's disappointment.
Sorry, Bridget McKenzie. What am I saying? Anyway, so you see, there's more bitterness and trouble and for the Coalition. These are choppy waters. But let's go back to the big picture, the leadership one. The Liberals risk rejecting Angus Taylor, a talented man, for an unknown quantity who is at least a woman. Losing Taylor primarily because he's a scapegoat and she's a symbol in an age where seeming is everything. Now, hear me here. I do not say Sussan Ley would fail as a leader. Met her the other day. She's very nice. But, being perfectly fair, her qualities are yet to be seen, the leadership qualities. And does she even know the right direction from here when the people backing her are saying, go left, go left, go left?